12 volts here, 12 volts here. 87 goes to what you're trying to control, and 85 goes to a switch in the cabin and back to ground. Most relays are going to have numbers under here for the different pins. I'm going to show you how to wire them up. So let's understand a basic circuit. Let's have a load here. Let's call it a big light. I've got my battery. If I wire in the battery to the light, that now turns on. Fantastic. First thing, we want to put a fuse in here. If we don't have a fuse, there's a good chance we're going to burn our car to the ground. Nobody wants that. Now with the fuse, the light's still turning on, but I want to be able to control it. I want to be able to turn it on and off, and that's where our relay comes into play. If we just put a simple switch like this, we're going to melt it and create fires probably inside the car.
I'm only burning my half.
So how do we wire this up to take the load? What we do is after the fuse, we want to send 12 volts to 30. And then the 87, that goes over to our light, fuel pump, the load that we're trying to control. Now with the relay wired in, we have to now control the relay, because at the moment this hasn't been closed, so the light's not going to turn on. So how do we control the relay? We need to send 12 volts to 86. 12 volts here to 86. And then we need to send 85 back to the negative. And in this 85, we're going to put a switch. So you've wired up all 4 pins on your relay. This switch will normally be inside the cabin of your car. And what happens is when you close that switch, you close this circuit here, which closes this switch, which means the heavy load comes through the relay and turns on your light. And that's how you wire up a relay. It's really quite straightforward. So 12 volts here, 12 volts here, 87 goes to what you're trying to control, and 85 goes to a switch in the cabin and back to ground. Switch on, relay on. Switch off, relay off. Switch that controls a switch is the easiest way to understand it. So this is our drift car. Lewis has just finished mounting the Velo race seat. And in the back here, we've got a water spray system that we're gonna set up to spray on the rear tyres to keep them cool, because a cooler rear tyre on a drift car means you don't destroy the tyres as quickly. So last weekend, Lewis has already mounted his relay and he's got some switches over there. So we're going to wire that up now. I thought I'd do this set a little bit differently, and we bought these plugs. Means terminations will just be a little bit easier and a bit neater. Triple them so we can start to connect everything properly. So this relay's only got 4 pins. So I've just de-pinned that middle one. Get rid of that, stop any confusion. So really easy. The 30 on your relay, you want to take 12 volts, and then your 87 will go to the pump, and then we just need to bring the pump back to negative. Switch itself, you just want to power 12 volts to 86, and then 85 we put that back through the switch. So 85 comes in through the switch and then back to negative. Clear as mud?
To some extent.
Because we're switching on the negative, what Lewis is actually doing, he's going to put the 30 and the 86 together and just both give them constant power. So you don't get lost, grab yourself a photo and just save it. Lewis took a photo of the whiteboard, but you can get a photo off Google somewhere. While Lewis is getting that done, I'm going to put some water in this spray unit. Fill this up so we can test this pump.
Tug test.
Always test.
But that'll also go to the switch. This one goes to the switch.
So that goes to the switch, and then we got to send the switch to ground. You could probably just ground it to the chassis. You could probably even loop it around and use the same ground that is screwing the relay in place. Do you know what I mean?
Just get a hole and then put
Yep.
it in there. Easy.
Cool. All right, so now we need to get the switch sorted.
Well, now we'll run this under the carpet quickly.
Switch needs to go to ground. So what Lewis has just done there is where he's mounting the relay, he's also run the switch to go. That cable there is going to go back to the switch, and we'll just ground it to the chassis itself. So the most important thing to start with was the fuse, remember? So we haven't connected to the battery yet, but this is really important. So if you don't have a fuse in line and along here somewhere earth's out or it rubs on the firewall, you're going to melt your car to the ground.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
So these are super important. Always do them, please. So we'll get this connected and we'll give it a test. Yeah. So now that switch is controlling the relay, right? Exactly the same as our drawing. The switch controls the relay takes the power from the battery into the relay and then back there to the pump. Yeah.
No, I didn't rig those charges.